What's going on, everyone? I had an interesting beginning of the day, or not so much beginning of the day, but right before jumping on stream. I had just got a notification that my credit card was being used against my my authorization. So I was just on the the phone with Capital One trying to go over that, being like, "Hey man, I didn't use this. I didn't use the card. Please please look into it." So that's why I am late. But welcome in. This is another database and website episode. I have hinted that this is going to be member only for the short time until I get members. The replays will be member only. So if you're here during the live version, you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. If you're not, the replays are going to be replay only, or member only. So just throwing that out there. I don't even have all my stuff up and ready because I was distracted before jumping on. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I can see my mic is working. Just bear with me. Again, this is more of like a hangout. You get to see what I'm doing with the database and stuff like that. Again, this is going to go towards a website. We're going to put this on a website. We're going to make it look really good. That'll be fun to get to. I have a vision as to what the website's going to look like. It will most likely look like Rick Run Goods website because I do have a Power BI membership. I do have a website URL, and I will be putting those reports that I create in Power BI on that website like Rick does. So it'll look a lot like Rick's site, but the color scheme will be different. I'm not going to have it like super white. Actually, I'll probably have a dark and light mode added to it. I started building a website like 2 years ago. And I got really far, but then I hit a snag because, like, when you build it, you got to build it to kind of look like, you got to build it to work on a PC, you got to build it to work on a tablet, and you got to build it to work on a phone. And that's where my snag was. I couldn't get it to be perfect, and I couldn't do the phone portion of it. Like, you see how the logo of the SweetSpotDFS is up there? That's how the website, like, this is kind of how the website looked. So you'd have that SweetSpotDFS up there, and then it would have a ribbon that goes across it, and you'd have all these little links and stuff like that that you could click into and get to certain parts of the website. So everything was looking good. Everything was great. But I was manually doing it, and I didn't have a lot of I didn't have a lot of I don't have a lot of experience doing it. So I just couldn't get it down, and then I didn't really so much scrap it, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to spend some money, let someone do it for me. So that was the whole game plan. So yeah. That's where I'm at with the website. Since 8 game you got back to me, I can tell you that the mic is working, so thank you for inadvertently confirming that my mic is working. I was hoping it was. I was hoping that the stream was working, but you never know. Okay. So, let me get this up. I usually like to put like the YouTube live video over on my left screen so I can look to see who's commenting. I can pin stuff. It's like the control room as it's called for YouTube. So that's there. Really quickly, just a reminder, I do giveaways. If you're here commenting, you're going to get an entry into the giveaway. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I gotta look at the TOS. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I want to reward those that are members of the channel. I'm pretty sure as long as I give access to everybody who's a member, I might even do a member giveaway every single week. And that's just giving back to you guys. Or I will put double the amount of entries in for members. It'll be something like that. But I had to look at the TOS. You know, trying to sell, trying to be a salesman, you know, and it's, you know, I don't know. I absolutely hate, by the way, I hate being sold to. I hate selling. I hate being sold to. So I understand if you guys are kind of like, oh, this sucks. I don't like it. I get it. I feel your pain. I understand. But the whole goal is obviously at least this being a good second job, if not a full-time job. That'd be cool, right? I don't think that's where I can get to just by doing golf alone, but that is kind of the goal. So that is what we are working on. But either way, if you comment here in the live video, you will get an entry into the Sweet Spot giveaway. And I do that every Tuesday night. I do the weekly one that's worth $5. And then, oh my goodness, I forgot to do a giveaway, didn't I? Or no, I did. I did do a giveaway. Just kidding. I did a giveaway. I did one Tuesday. So we'll do another one Tuesday. So keep all of that in mind. Again, I like to reward those. Reward those for participating on the channel. Okay. How's everyone's lineups doing? I saw Joanne. Good evening. Hope you're doing good this week. This is what Joanne says. Hope you're doing good this week in golf. Not a bad start for myself. 185.5 for today. Everyone looking good so far. I have a pretty good start myself. It's kind of crazy, I won't lie. So I have a lot of good players currently. You can see my balance. I'm at $4. We put all of the monies into I think I had like $76 worth of entry fees. So we're winning in a couple of these winner take alls. Do you guys remember, or if you're not on Twitter, I showed this on the Twitters. I wish I would have shown it on the stream, but I think I finished it when it came to Wednesday night, Tuesday. I think I did it during Wednesday. I don't know. I finished it Wednesday after my job. So what I ended up doing was I went and looked at all the buckets. So the buckets, if you're familiar with the channel, you know I look at course history, you know I look at recent form, last year and last week. So this is a Sony Open. That's last week. Those all equate to numbers when it comes to the bucket system. So look what I did. I recorded all the 7K range golfers, everyone in the 7K range dating back to 2019. So up here, like you can kind of see it goes, you know, this is by result. So basically the lower the result is, that means it's the beginning of the next year. So this would be 2023. This would be 2022. This would be 2021, 2020. This would be 2019. And then, oh, it goes back to 2018. This would be 2018. So what I used to do back in the day, I used to take the bucket combinations. So I would look at primarily just last year and last week buckets, and I'd put them together. So an 85 means a missed cut from last year. So Chris Kirk, let me just scroll in. I know it's super small on your guys' screen, so I'll zoom in a little bit more. So Chris Kirk last year, but we're looking at the 2023 American Express. So at 2023 American Express, he finished third, right? The year before, he missed the cut. And the Sony that was leading into that tournament, so the week before, he finished third. He finished third in the 2023 he finished third in the 2023 Sony Open. So this is a bucket score, this is a bucket score. And how it works is I'm looking at this bucket and this bucket. Now, course history buckets, they're 5s. I'm sorry, missed cut buckets, they're worth 5. Top 20s are worth 1. So this 5-1 is a bucket combination. And if I scroll down, these are all like the buckets that I'm looking at. Here's another 5-1. You know, if I'm scrolling, I'm looking for other 5-1s. I don't really see any other 5-1s. In fact, I don't even know how many other 5-1s there are. But like, that's kind of what I was looking at. It was like, how many bucket combinations actually show up? And so here's 2020's bucket combination. It goes through all the different bucket combinations. Like if I were to sort this, because it's sorted right now by how many finished inside the top 10 for bucket combinations between course history and last year. So that's one bucket combination, course history last year. Another one's course history recent form, last year recent form, last year last week, recent form last week. So there are all these different bucket combinations. And if I were to go ahead and sort this, first what I would do is I'd sort it by the second bucket, which is the last week bucket. Oh, no. We would go... I think we go... Let's do recent form first. No, it was the other way around. I was right. We do the second bucket first. So we go last week, and then you're going to see... I think you probably already know. And then we'll go recent form, smallest to largest. It's backwards. I should have done it the other way, but you can see 1 6 1 5 1 4 1 3 1 2 1 1, and then it goes 2 6 2 5 2 4 2 3. So basically, I did that with all these buckets, and I did a count. I wanted to see how many top 10 finishers there were for each bucket combination. And if you're like, okay, Eric, this is way above, I don't know what you're talking about. So 6-6 in 2018, this was the highest correlated bucket for finishing inside the, or bucket combination to finish inside the top 10. There were 9 golfers. Let me double check here. Maybe I did that wrong. Oh, this is for all years. I'm sorry. So 2018 to 2023. Yeah. I'm doing these by bucket combinations, not by years. So this is bucket combinations. So of all the bucket combinations from 2018, not all of them, the recent form last week bucket combination dating back to 2018, the best correlated bucket to finish inside the top 10 are golfers who did not play, who have no recent form coming into the tournament, and didn't play last week. Did I lose everyone? The 5 people that are watching? So to put it a different way, if I were to, let's see, what do I have up right now? Let me open up the American Express spreadsheet. I didn't actually plan to go into this, but this is what's going to be on the website at some point in time as well. So it's worth mentioning because this is the grand idea, is to be able to analyze by bucket combination. So when I go to 2023, what does a last year 6, or I mean a last week 6 and a recent form 6 look like? That's Eric Van Rooyen. You see he has no tournaments leading into the American Express, yet he finished 6th. So he actually shows up on that bucket combination. Do I actually see? This is what, 2023? So he should be up here. Oh, he wasn't a 7K golfer. He's $6,700. I'm looking for just 7K golfers. My bad. And 7K golfers inside the top 10. So if I'm being quite honest with you, you see there's no one that's in the 7K range inside the top 10 that has a miscut, or not a miscut, has 0 recent form, and did not play the week before. But Francesco Molinari, the year before, he fit that mold. He had no recent form, and he didn't play the week before. So no recent form, meaning he didn't play within the last 7 weeks. If I go to 2021 and I'm looking at 7K golfers, do I have another one? It's Francesco again. He had no recent form. No recent form, no finish the week before. So he fit that mold twice. If I look at another year, do I have another 7K golfer inside the top 10? No. So that's interesting. So the frequency isn't going to be 100%. I'm wondering where all my 7K golfers that are 6.6s. Where in the heck they are? Is it all that last year, 2018? I am so dubious. What is going on? Berger and Lashley. Berger and Lashley in what year? So they've... Oh, I'm looking at top 20s. My bad, my bad, my bad. I'm looking at top 20s. Jeez. Yeah, not enough golfers in the top 10s. I'm just looking for top 20s. Primarily because yeah, I totally forgot. Again, I didn't plan on talking about this. So if I were to look at GPP winning lineups, so like your GPP winning lineups for all these tournaments, you had golfers that were outside the top 20. So it's okay to grab golfers outside the top 20 or in the top 20. That's why I did it. Okay. Like even Harold Varner down here in the GPP winning lineup, no recent form and didn't play the week before. So anyways, going back and explaining this, sorry for the confusion. I confused myself. The highest correlated bucket would have been did not play the week before and just hadn't played for the last 7 weeks. That was like one of the highest counts of buckets that I had. Now, when I go back, you can see for this week's tournament, Sam Ryder was one of those golfers who hadn't played the week before or played just within the last 7 weeks. So I think maybe just saying it that way is the best way to say it, is just didn't play in the last 7 weeks, which means he falls under this bucket. So he gets a point total of 9. And this is like a weighted thing. It's like a model. So I summed up all of the totals in those buckets, and this basically gave me the idea, like, these are golfers that are bound to play pretty decent at the American Express because they fit that mold. Seabez. Let's just look at the leaderboard. You guys are going to be like, are you kidding me right now? I think I zoomed in a little too far. Christian Bezuidenhout. T3rd. Look at that. He's at the top of my list. Alex Noren. He's at the top of my list. Let's see if we can find Griffin and Hadley. I know Sam Ryder didn't finish the greatest, but there's our boy Chesson, 14th currently, finished 7 under. Griffin, I think he finished up there too, right? Griffin had an okay day. Where do you end up? Right here. 6 under. So he's in 23rd right now. He did play La Quinta, mind you that. So too did Chesson Hadley. That's okay. That's hey, starting at La Quinta is actually a good thing. Now it's mostly because that's where the quality of players are going. But Hadley, Griffin, Noren, Bezuidenhout, 23rd or better with decent birdies. You know, you've got Bez up there. So I usually pick three golfers in the 7K range. That's about as much as that's the most 7K golfers I'm going to go. A lot of my combos were Ryder, Hadley, and Noren. That was my top combo that I did. Primarily because what I saw was a lot of golfers in the 7K range did not play the year before. So I wanted that, and I also wanted course history to go with it. Well, here's the other thing too. Having this, and this. So actually the combination of those 4, having a missed cut the year before, having a 20 to 40 finish, having a top 20 and not playing, those were all really good showings in the bucket combination, or just in the buckets. So if I were to look back, and we're looking at just the 7K range, you know, Hoagie had a missed cut. Like we're looking at this column right here, he had a missed cut. Brian Harmon was in the 7K range, top 20 finish. You see that? Now I have another missed cut in Lanto Griffin, but that still falls under the same thing. Denny McCarthy, Francesco Molinari, top 20s, missed cuts. They're all in the 7K range. That was 2022. 2023, you had Chris Kirk, who had a missed cut the year before, and Robbie Shelton, who did not play. So like we're looking at top 20s, missed cuts, did not plays. We go to 2021 and we're just looking at our 7K golfers. that are inside the top 10. We've got that 20 to 40, missed cut, missed cut, missed cut. Do I have another 7K golfer up there? No. So you see how it's going? Hold on, just wait. I think I was butt dialed by my girlfriend. Send her a picture. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff, right? It just happened to be that way. Burger. Oh, that's way down there. Never mind. Just kidding. But Collie had a missed cut, so it just showed up to be the, like, isn't that weird how that stuff works? It's why I do the buckets, missed cuts, all that stuff. So who's all with me right now? Who's in here? So Lombardi Lee, what's going on, man? You should watch the beginning of that, the live video for the American Express strategy video. Just watch it a little bit. Just go and do it. So anyways, a lot of those guys top of the leaderboard. Can we find anyone else? Scott Stallings, by the way, one of the 6K golfers that I played a bunch of. Let's see. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? Hadley was up there. Hisasune. I don't think Hisasune was one of the top guys. Yeah, he was down here. But I also noticed, by the way, not having course history or not having a last year finish was very helpful. It just doesn't matter what price tag you are. That showed up a bunch inside the top 10s. Minwoo Lee is one of those guys too. I was heavy on Minwoo Lee this week, by the way. Heavy on Minwoo, and I kind of evened out all my 10K golfers. So Griffin is up there. Toasty showed up a bunch in our lineup building during Tuesday night. I didn't really have much KH Lee. Trying to find some other 7K golfers that did well. Eric Cole's a monster. EVR I did play a lot of, but I think he was at the bottom of the... Anyways, none of that, or we can stop doing that. But this bucket combination piece, this is what I will be adding to the website. This all goes hand in hand, so I don't mind showing it because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So anyways, I left off. Lombardi Lee goes, would you recommend showdown slates in golf? Showdown slates in golf. Yeah. So to me, you know, like week long, what I'll do is I'll talk about not pairing golfers up together. I think you do pair golfers up together in the you pair golfers up in showdown. Because golfers can get hot together. They can also get cold together. It rubs off. It's very contagious. So, on to the database. Talking about the database. And by the way, like I said, we're doing pretty good. Got a lot of first place finishes going on right now. 270 is the most points that I have tallied up. We are 4th in the 1K winner take all. That's pretty nice. I'm also 8th in the winner take all. I'm also 12th in the winner take all, the 1K winner take all. We're 10th in the $500 winner take all. We got a couple good lineups. Let's put it that way. A lot of good lineups. And you can see the line, like the people that I played a lot of. I told you I did that 7K strategy. So like CBEZ and EVR, those weren't in the 7K strategy. But there you go. Hadley is one of those 7K golfers. Norin, I sprinkled in Mitchell. But there you go. Ryder, Norin, and Griffin. I just closed that page. But I practice what I preach. That's my big thing. So you go Ryder, Hadley, Norin. See that? So if I pull this back up. So it's Griffin up here, which I have right there. Hadley, is he in this one? No, Ryder is. So Sam Ryder, he's up there. He's number 1 on my list. And then Norin, he's number 4 on my list. So like I said, I grabbed 3 of those guys, and you're going to see that as I go through. Okay, that's a double up lineup. Norin, Griffin, Zadenhout. Look at that. CBEZ is up there. Norin, Griffin, Bez. Norin, Griffin, Bez. Same lineup. Norin, Brennan Wu, different 7K golfer. And that's it. Some of these, I mean, I didn't go all full like 7 or 3 7Ks and it'd be those golfers, but Norin, Griffin, Bez, like I said before. Griffin, Norin, Bez. Same thing. Norin, Griffin, Bez. We have a KH Lee spotting. KH Lee and Norin. There we go. Griffin, Norin, Bez. Man, I'm a broken record right now. Norin, Griffin, Bez. Once again, just sprinkled with different players. Norin, Griffin, Bez. Yeah, so it's been good. Let's put it that way. I was thoroughly enjoying watching golf today. It just was working in my favor. Okay. Let's close this down. Let's get back to the spreadsheet. So I found something out that I am not super proud about when I was going through my my database. Not very happy. I had to create, let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, I'm over there. That's not where I want to be. Okay. So it had to do with the recent form buckets. Basically what I have to do, one thing that I just, oh dude, I so frustrated about. Let me actually scroll up. I know I need to go to 2014 and I need to go to the Tournament of Champions for 2014 and I'll show you what I mean. So go up to 2014 tournament. I just missed it. There we go. There it was. Tournament of Champions. So, what I had done. By the way, you can let me know if you want things zoomed in. I can zoom in for you guys. If it doesn't matter to you, then I don't have to. But let me know one way or the other. One thing I didn't take into account was, oh, it wasn't, never mind. You know what okay, hold on. I actually got to scroll all the way up. It's the first week of the season. That's what it ends up being. The first week of the season versus the last week of the previous season. I had written code that was just looking at, hey, look back. Take a look at what the last couple weeks are before week 3. Well, as simple as it is in Excel, you got week 2, week 1, and maybe week 0. if you include week 0. So if you wanted to look back, like if you look at the date here, 10/10/9/19, that's about 3 weeks. There's a 3-week gap. That's why I have it starting on week 3 as opposed to this being week 1, which I think I should have just put week 1. It would have made building this a little easier, but we are where we are, and we just deal with it. So what I need to do, if I'm looking at previous tournaments, so as I'm building this, I want to find Jimmy Walker. Did he play in the Tour Championship? And I don't remember if he did or if he didn't. Doesn't look like he did. But I would want to look to see where his results are somewhere in the previous tournament. So he's here at the Fries.com Open. I want to see if he's over here somewhere in the Tour Championship. And I want to keep going weeks backwards. Well, if I go from week 3 down, I get stuck at 0. It doesn't know it wants to look at week 41. So here's the annoying part behind all of that. You see how all of this is already written in there, and we have all of these, you know, these things that, all this data that's been populated. This is from week 41 going backwards. In order for it to work out, I actually have to go week, whatever that previous week was, 41, and go backwards from there. So I have to write something in the code in order to do that. So if I drill down in here, you're going to see the formula that I have written. It's going to be nonsense to a lot of you, for like, you're going to be like, I don't know what that means. But you can see I am minusing 52, so week 52 minus 1. So basically what I'm doing is, hey, if that week column equals 1, let's do a VLOOKUP and find an identifier. We also got to look at the year. So if I scroll all the way over here, you're going to see I'm looking at the year. I'm looking at the week. So column B is the season. Week is the week column, or the column for week is C, and basically I have that all written in here. So if it equals 1, then I want to look at the previous season, and I want to look at week 52 minus 1. Well, it's not going to be week 52, it's week 41. I don't know why I did that. It's just that's how I had built the data prior to. So instead of 52, actually let me do it down here. Instead of 52, we're gonna go 42, and then that's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. Now it's gonna give me this like, hey, this is different than the previous years, and that's fine. That's okay. But the thing is, I gotta do this for every single column. So we go 42. Anytime you see a 52, we turn it to 42. And in all actuality, you know what I can do? We'll make this real easy for ourselves. In case you didn't know this, you hit the control button, and simultaneously you click down the tilde, which is just above the tab, and you're gonna drill down into the formulas. It's a really easy, nifty thing to do. And then from here, we go all the way to the column that we want to update. And you can actually go replace. You gotta be careful. Oh, I can't do it. Dang it. So actually I could do it. You got to create an identifier that you want to replace. So you see how, if you can follow my mouse cursor, I should make it a different color. But you see it says if error if C5212. You see how it has 52? Well, what I wanted to do was change all of the instances of week 52 to week 42. But what you can do instead is my unique identifier is 52 minus 1. We can change that to 42 minus 1. And that should only replace the cells that I need it to. It says all done, we made 14 replacements. So now we hit close, you hit control tilde, and everything. So if I go into this column right here, everything that was 52 minus 1 is going to get updated. So if I go to the next one, should show me the same thing. Anything that was 52. Yep. That didn't work out because there was some... Actually, it did, didn't it? This is minusing the... C is the week. Ah, yeah. Okay, no, we're good. No, we're not. We're not good. There's some 52 minus... Oh my god, 52 minus 2. Ah, yes. Oh my god. Seriously? How did it... Okay, let's hit the Control Z. I'm gonna hit Control Z again. So I don't know what was all updated. I'll hit Control Z one more time. I thought I was gonna be smart with that one. What's up, Too Cool Rad? Appreciate the recent subscriber. You know what? Why don't we just put you right on the screen? There you go. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm gonna go back and do this just manually because that's the only way to validate. Oof, that's ugly to look at. The only way to validate is to do it this way, go manually. Yeah, that's annoying for you guys to look at. I can't like zoom in for this. At least I don't know how on my end. So I'm just gonna replace all of the... Oh, I think okay. I'm gonna do it the other way around. We're just gonna make that big. I know. Okay, so there was 14 instances, right? Would that make sense? Are there 14? Why would it be -1 showing up that much? Said it made 14 updates. I don't see where it would make 14 updates. It should make 11. Yeah, whatever. Again, I'm just going to use up here the column up here that you can barely see. I'm making my updates up there. How's everyone's DFS lineups going? Lombardi Lee, how many lineups did you put in? How well are you doing? Same goes with you, Too Cool Rad. Anybody else that's in here? By the way, staring at this data like this, trying to be like completely alert, can really mess with your eyes. I shouldn't say mess with your eyes. It's just like, oh my God, it can give you a headache if you stare too long. Don't look into the light. Norman Zhang? What's he doing? What's he up to, Josh? Game, did you put a $300 entry in, or were you up $300 and then lost out on 300? Might be rolling with a big roller here. Sir, let me spend your money for you. Oh, yeah, that's not good. So, was Norman Zhang a 6K golfer, or was he a 7K golfer? I don't remember. And, Josh, do you play single entry, or was this just your best lineup that kind of kicking your butt? Or did you go 100% in on Norman Zhang? $6,400. Okay, game. So you like to hit the showdowns hard, huh? That's pretty cool. If only I had that kick around money, I'd be investing big time. Did I ever tell you guys that there's a channel membership? You can hit that little join button down there. trying to get my kick around money that way. Whoa. By the way, I need to do this for every time there's a flip between years. So this is for the 2014 season. I'll have to do it for the 2015 season. I'll have to do it for the 2016, 2017, 2018, so on and so forth. So 42 minus 8, 42 minus 7, 42 minus 6, 42 minus 5, 42 minus 4, 42 minus 3, 42 minus 2. Okay. Did our validation. You see how now it's pulling in numbers? That's exactly what I want to see. This is good. It wasn't before because we had the wrong formula in there. $42 minus 9, 42 minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5. Who's all in the chat right now? Who's all watching, I should say. 42 minus 4, 42 minus 3, 42 minus 2, 42 minus 1. Top 3 win 500. Ooh, $20 lottery and $50 multiplier. I like that. So is it 20 bucks? Oh, no. The $50 multiplier is the top 3 win 500, right? Is that 10? No. How many how big is that contest? 5? 5 people? Joshua Maz? Was that 8 game goes, I played a lot of 20 max and single entry. Okay. Okay, this one is good to go. And then the other thing that I'll have to do with this is that doesn't look right. One should be 42 minus 6. See, actually going through this manually is probably the best way to do it. That kind of stinks. I'm going to have to go through. I think week 6 would be wrong all the way through. Although I don't see it really. Oh, this would be week 10. And it was only if it was week 6. Okay. So it's not really going to affect anything else. Okay. So 42 minus 10, 42 minus 9, 42 minus 8, 42 minus 7, 42 minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Perfect. So we do the same thing, and this is going to have the most code of all of them. 42 minus 11, 42 minus 10, 42 minus 9, 42 minus 8. I did it again over here. 42 minus 7. What in the hell? Okay. (42 minus 5, 42 minus 4, 42 minus 3, 42 minus 2, and 42 minus, oh, no, 42 minus 1. Boom. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out. And what I need to do is grab all of this and scroll down. You see how now the data is populating and how it wasn't before? That was the issue, that it wasn't before. So before I go any further, I just want to double check on some golfers here. I think Hideki Matsuyama is someone I'm looking for to have played in the previous couple weeks, and he's not showing up. So he's got no recent form in the last 6-7 weeks, but I bet you he played at the Tournament of Champions. Or maybe not. So I'm looking for Hideki somewhere in here. I don't see Decky. How about the week before? Maybe he didn't play. So Scott Stallings did. I bet you Scott Stallings played at the Fortinet, right? Maybe not. Well, let's see here. We'll see if I scroll down a little bit with the rest of these. Here, I'll grab from here again and just scroll down. Or click and drag down. I'm not seeing any that played the week before. I don't think that's correct. Oh, okay, we got one right here. It's good. So 3 weeks prior would be the tournament champ. Okay. So 3 weeks before, this is who? Billy Horschel. Did Horschel, who played the Fortinet, did he finish 7th at the Tour Championship? He sure did. Cool. All right, it works. It's perfect. It works. Ooh, I even have another Tournament of Champions guy. 22nd for Gary Woodland. Did he play in the Tournament of Champions? Or I'm sorry, not Tour Championship. 22nd, Gary Woodland. There we go. Perfect. It works. It works. Cool. So now what I should be able to do, now we're actually going into the next tournament. You see how this is already populated? This formula that I just wrote is different than the formula that's right here. It shouldn't affect anything. So that still should be okay, perfect. And now you'll see some of this other data gets populated. We love that. Perfect. See, we can be smart. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll just click and drag this. First of all, what I want to do is actually look to see where like week 11 is. Maybe like week 8. So classic at Mayakoba. So 58.94. I'm just taking a look at what the column number is because I'm going to click and drag this down to 58.94. I think that's what the number was. So right down to here. Yep, 58.94. Okay. That should be as far down as I need to go. Oh, actually, no. I'm getting more. I think maybe here I don't need to go any further down. Perfect. You love when you see it doesn't change. That's the big key, is not changing. So now we're down to the Tournament of Champions where there's like a big, you know, time off for some of these guys that just didn't play. Okay, nothing changed. Perfect. Just wanted to double check. Okay, cool. So that worked. I'm glad that it worked because I want accurate data. And in order to have that bucket combination thing that I was talking about, this stuff needs to be accurate. So in all reality, I should be able to also click and drag this up. And it should stay the same. Yep. Perfect. Cool. I'm actually just going to click this all the way up to the top. I don't think it's going to change anything. Nope. Just want to double check. Make sure we don't see any changes when we do this, because if we did see changes, we'd be SOL. Yeah, I'm not seeing any updates. No changes. So we just feel confident scrolling all the way up to the top. Did something change there? I saw like a 43 change. Nope. Cool. Ooh, that changed. 30. Okay, then it changed back. You wouldn't have had 3 weeks before because there's only 2 weeks. And then obviously we had 0 recent form, 0 tournaments played the week before. Okay. So now what I'll do, believe it or not, pretty confident in this. I will validate later, but we're gonna go back down to 58.94. Since that's where our OHL tournament is. 58.94. Actually, we had to go back. We had to go further down than that, right? We had to actually use the Hero World Challenge. So down to here. Go here. And we're going to copy. Up, down. Right click. Paste values only. I want to get rid of all of the formulas that are in there so the spreadsheet runs smoother. It's something that Mr. Back9Bets Byron needs to learn to do when he does his research shows, but this all looks beautiful. Cool. All right, so then we go on to the next one. So I'm actually going to leave you guys there. I just wanted to be here for an hour going through what I'm working on. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll answer some questions. Let me know if you guys have questions for me for anything. This will be the time to do it. I don't know if I necessarily need to continue going on through this with you guys because I imagine some of it's going to be extremely boring to you. So we can use the time now just to answer questions. Oh, nice. I like that. So leave them in the chat for me. Reminds me how I should have paid attention in college computer courses. Well, I mean, like, you know, a lot of college or a lot of school is stuff you're never gonna actually use when it comes to being out in the wild. Like, I'm never gonna hold it against anybody who's just like, you know what? College kind of seems like a waste of time. It's like, yeah, you're not necessarily wrong. All right, I need to figure out what the next column or the next row number I need to get to. We need to get all the way down to 22,000, huh? That's where the next season starts. Is that correct? So 2014? No, I missed one. I went way too far. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, here it is, right here. All the way down to 10,910. I know just enough to feel deja vu. What's the best ways to determine an outright winner? You know, I don't really get a lot into betting, but if I got into betting, I would nerd out and make a spreadsheet like I kind of am doing here. I would figure out all the values. So obviously there's going to be some discrepancies that the bookmakers or the line makers are going to have. You know, you might have Sam Burns 60-1 or whatever he ends up being. And if you're kind of going through it, you're looking at all of the numbers and you see that Sam Burns actually has a win rate higher than, I mean, however you calculate 60-1. If he's got a better win rate than what that is, you would then want to do that. Here, let's look at it a different way. Let's see if I can pull up Data Golf. I mean, like, if you had your own way to calculate the stuff, I would say go that route. But, like, look at this one. So, like, the model predictions for Data Golf. If I went into here, it's going to gray out everything because I'm not a Scratch member. But, like, 17.5%. That's pretty close to what? What is I think that's what, 5-1? Pretty close to 5-1 since it's almost at 20. So that would be, you know, 5-1. You're not getting like super good odds. I don't even know what his odds were, to be quite honest with you. But Cantlay would be about 12-1, 11-1. So here's what I'd say. I don't necessarily think you're gonna find an outright winner based off of stats and stuff like that. There's gonna be people that are likely to win a tournament, like they have a better odds to win a tournament versus others. It's just whether or not you agree with those. So, like, do you think Scotty Scheffler's a 5-1 winner in this field? Everyone knows this field's volatile, so it would be, this is one of those events where you could actually make the argument that no, Scotty is not, and by the way, it's not technically 5-1. but it's not yet at 6 to 1. So it's like 5.5 to 1 or something like that is what his win rate would suggest. So, but also the money that gets put on the lines. So that's the thing I'm talking about. So let's just make a hypothetical here. If Scotty's win rate was 20%, that means he's 5 to 1 to win. But if the bookmakers or the line makers at the books, they have his odds set at 6 to 1. That means you're getting value off that 6 to 1. And betting whatever amount of money you want on that means you're getting value back. Now, you know, there's 156 golfers in this field. Do you really think he has a 20% chance to win? Maybe, maybe not. But if something was like he was 12 to 1 to win the tournament, or let's say 10 to 1, double, you know, like what he should be, or however half of what he should be. I don't know how to talk betting language. Then you hammer that. That's something that you definitely want to hit. I think it more comes on value when it comes to betting than it does just straight up finding, you know, the actual. It's not even so much that. You do want to find the winner because it's the only way you're gonna get paid. But you're taking your chances. So Sam Burns actually 2.8% win percentage. If you got him, so what is that really saying? 50 to 1. So if I said he was 60 to 1, you'd get value on that, and that's probably a good outright pick, is to use Sam Burns. Sung Jae is basically at 4 to 1 or 4%, so that's 25 to 1. So if you got him at 30 to 1 or better, then that would be the way to go. Let's see here. I'm gonna look up my buddy Chad Eckert because he put the house bet on Siwoo. What odds did he get? He got 20 to 1. 20 to 1. His odds don't necessarily show that. I don't know if this was like pre-tournament or if this was during it, but 21, not really the greatest price you could have got on Sung Jae, but Sung Jae is his boy, so he has to. Ooh, that's interesting. How many lineups do you build? 20? I think you said 20, right? You play the 20 max. So if you're only building 20 lineups, that makes sense. I would say do it a little different. I would not allow. I don't know if you asked for the optimizer before, but let me bring my optimizer up. So here were my exposure levels. And some of these will say 50% like Norin. So this is actually what I ended up owning. This is the exposure levels that I had for 100 and it says 107 lineups. Well, for 107 lineups, these were my exposures, but I built 170 lineups, like unique lineups. I don't have all my lineups over here, but you can see these are all my lineups and I highlighted the ones that I liked. So it was, or no, it was 120 lineups, not 170. I built 120. These are what I'd already entered in. So let me actually bring these over to the lineup page here. And this is what I entered. I built 124 lineups and this was my exposure levels. So I put no restrictions on the 10K golfers. Scheffler, Schauffele, Cantlay, Sung Jae. Now, I did anchor a lot of these lineups. I built it in to make sure it selected Xander. I didn't really have to do anything with Cantlay. It was the optimizer like Cantlay or Scheffler a lot. But I had to force it to pick Sung Jae or Xander. And then the rest of them, the exposures are here. This is my max exposures. Anyone that's in the 7K range, I'll tell you right now, is 14% or lower, despite me having 50% on Hosler. Not Hosler, Norin. Hosler's just above him. So Norin, 50%. Like I was telling you this is, I picked Norin, Griffin, Sam Ryder. I think I have some Seabez down here. I'm not a huge fan of Seabez, but I allowed the optimizer to select a lot of them, and Chesson. So these were my exposure levels over here because I wanted more of them. And I also bumped up their value because I wanted to see how the bucket combinations were going to do. So yeah, I look at it this way. If they're in the 7K range, double the 7 number and make that your exposure. So 14%. When it gets to the lower 7K range, I make it 12%. And then I never try to roster. I will fudge the numbers a little bit because of some 6K golfers I like, but I never do more than 4%. Robert McIntyre I liked, so I bumped him up to 6%. I liked Troy Merritt. I think I anchored him into a couple lineups, but you can see how much I own him versus the exposures. Most of them are spot on, 2%, 1%. Never fall in love with a 6K golfer, but never disrespect one. So that's kind of how I do my exposure levels. For week long, I multi-mass enter. Multiple 20 and 150 sets for week long. Damn, I built 200 lineups that I entered across 372 entries. Only a total of $700 worth of entry fees. Damn. 8 game, I want to know how well you do when the smoke settles, when the tournament is over. If you were to do win equity at that ownership, you're going to hit snags, aren't you? You're not going to be able to build lineups after a few lineups. Unless, I suppose, if you have a computer program that can just go, like if you use the solver or any of the other optimizers out there, they'll just build you lineups and keep that percentage in mind. I always lose in golf. I made $6 last year total. I kept track. I'm currently down $160. Like all the money that was in my DraftKings account for the last year, I've expended it all, and I have had to tap into my rewards. Of course, Lombardi. Of course, man. Any more questions? If you have not yet sent or put a message in chat, you are going to get credit for the weekly and monthly giveaways. So I give away $5 every Tuesday night, and I give away it's going to be $100 moving forward every first Tuesday of the next month. So if you've not yet messaged, or if you've not left a comment in here, do so now. That's the only way to get credit. And you got to be subscribed to the channel. I've won 100K to 20K top prize multiple times for NBA and MLB. That's awesome, man. You must be actually, can't assume that. I was gonna say you got to be up, right? Lifetime up. Some people don't though. My goal would be to win $100,000. Withdraw that and withdraw like 90 of it and play with 10, and I would do those Thunderdome matchups. I think I have a huge edge versus those guys that do the Thunderdome matchups. I'd love to turn 5,300 into $20,000 every single week. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I imagine you would be up, and that is the goal. That's the goal of doing this. All right, so I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds for anyone that has not yet commented in the chat. Whoever's watching, comment now. Get your entries into the giveaway. Just let me know. You're right. They do collude. I pay attention here and there. Those lineups are never good. I mean, like one of the Thunderdome matchups or contests I watched that I was paying attention to had 3 people miss the cut and still cashed. It's like, nah, that wouldn't be me. Who do I like for Showdown tomorrow? Let's see here. Oh, I'm not gonna have any data to look at. Here's if you guys if you guys listen to some of the top data analysts talking about reading stats, the one thing I absolutely hate, I hate it with all of my insides. So they'll look at strokes gained approach and be like, I want to find guys that have really good strokes gained approach. If you're not looking at strokes gained along with approach along with off the tee, you're not getting the full picture. So, you know, you combine those two things to get ball striking, which is great. But if you had somebody that was in the negative and then positive, like it doesn't. I built a spreadsheet that calculates strokes gained that everyone can use. And if you go and you compare two golfers against each other, one who hits at 200 yards in the middle of the fairway but has a 200-yard approach shot, and another guy who hits at 300 yards in the fairway and has a 100-yard approach shot, if they put it to the same distance away from the pin, that approach stat from that guy further back is going to look so much better than the guy who bombs it off the tee. So you can't really look at approach the same way without, I mean, you can't look at approach without looking at off the tee. If you're not looking at off the tee while you're looking at approach, you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's not the same. Like, it's just not, it's not good. So like you look at some of these guys that have really like good scores. So top 5, let's take a look. He is negative off the tee, which means his approach is just going to be good just because. He also has really good around the green and really good putting. So this putting, the putting with the approach stat is very telling. It means he was hitting it close and making his putts. That's what you would get with Scott Stallings. Now Springer, on the other hand, putting was basically even, negative off the tee, and approach. So it's like he's probably in the middle of the pack between approach and off the tee. But then he's got this amazing around the green number, plus 2.88. So if there was a guy you wanted to fade, you'd want to fade Hayden Springer, because that's not sustainable. The fact that it's 2.88, by the way, must mean he must have been close to a couple par 5s. Like he must have, because if you have that high of a around the green stat, it is, you should probably have a low approach stat because you're missing greens a lot. But this could just be one shot that he hit in. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, we can figure it out. Around the green, plus 1.18. It's not going to show us exactly what happened. But he bombed it off the tee, 300, and it, oh, yeah, he chipped in for eagle. Plus 1.18. That's what he got. Got an eagle. And then 0.85, did he chip in here as well, I wonder? You see how it's like negative approach? This was barely a plus 0.03. That's because he missed the green going for a par 5, which didn't really hurt him. And then he chips in. Or he didn't even chip in. He putt. No, that doesn't make any sense. You can never lose. Well, never mind. You're not supposed to lose putting. Why would he get minus 0.05? That makes no sense to me. He got an eagle. How would you have around the green stats and putting? So, by the way, here's one thing to note. Stats aren't always true. It says he has a green in reg. How does he have around the green stat? That, dude, that makes no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Why would he have an around the green stat? So down here it says he hit the fairway. He hit the green. He was a green in reg, which could also be green under reg, meaning he could have hit the green in 2. What? That makes no sense. Oh, green and reg. Even if he chips in, that would be a green and reg. Never mind. That, yeah. That makes sense. But why would he get minus 0.0? So when stats get adjusted, by the way, it adjusts all 4 stats. It doesn't just adjust the ones that he has. It adjusts all 4. So minus 0.05 isn't going to really be that big of a deal. But that is a new flaw that I just found out. Let's see here. I guess let me open up the PGA Tour leaderboard. We want to look at Springer, right? Get out of here. Springer was top 5. Hole number 8. Where was he at? He's at the stadium course, so I should be able to see it. You're not going to give me this? What is going on? This site. He was at the stadium course. Why do I not have a shot tracker with it? Did shot tracker go down? This is where it should be. You got to be kidding me. Shot tracker's down? Okay, I guess I can't show you. Is there still a golf channel? Oh, and then it just brings me to here. Because it's pgatour.com. What the hell? I can't look at the whole what happened. What's another one? ESPN. It's not gonna even show me anything here. Holy crap, dude. What a... It's so stupid. I don't get it. Well, anyways, that's impossible to have an eagle and have a putting in and around the green stat. The only way that is possible is if he bombed a drive, which I know he didn't, 320 yards. That doesn't make any sense. If he were to bomb a drive down by the green and then chip up close to the hole. That didn't happen. So this is just telling me his stats were adjusted. That's all that this meant. That's all that this means. It was adjusted. And although he didn't have a putting stat, it's negative. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not even showing my screen. You guys. I'm trying to explain to you what's going on, and I thought I'm showing it to you on screen, and I'm not. I got the thank you page up. Okay. Hayden Springer. I love that. No one's saying anything. You guys just have me up in the background. You're just like, yeah. You build lineups on SaberSim, but use your own projections. Okay. Anyways, so this is what I was looking at. I was looking at Hayden Springer. I was trying to show you like what I would look at when it comes to stats. Oh my god, dude. I was trying to tell you about approach and off the tee and stuff like that, and you couldn't even see anything on my screen. That's a rookie mistake on my end. So this is what I was looking at. See how he has negative putting, but he's got positive 1.18 when it comes to around the green. The stat over here. How can you have a negative putting stat to go with a positive plus 1.18? You can't. The stats get adjusted, and they get adjusted based off of the total. So when you look at strokes gained stats, if you were just to get the raw strokes gained stats, if the scoring average is better than average on tour, they all will get hurt. All of the stats get hurt They all get adjusted down. And despite him never even putting, he's getting a minus 0.05. That's nuts. You're right, 8Game. I should do that. But this is one of those things like why you can't always trust strokes gain stats. They might be the best stats that we have, but they overgeneralize, oversimplify, and over normalize. So yeah, not good. You can't have a negative putting stat and a positive around the green and get an eagle on a par 5. Just can't. It can't happen. Yeah, those are the 2 holes right there. I think he chipped in 2 holes in a row, 7 and 8, but I can't show you because I don't have any shot tracker to look at. I want to see the holes underneath, but it's not giving me it. That's all I can see. Nothing. See, does it actually says makes back-to-back birdie? Nope, that's not what I want. Sets up birdie, throws dart. Yep, nothing. Nothing. Okay. All right. I'm going to get off, or I'm going to go. Just wanted to be on for a short period of time going over the database. I was showing you what I was doing. 8Game, just to answer your question, or to kind of go further with Showdown. I would put golfers together. So, and not all of them. They're all in duos. So you see like Willie Z and Daniel Berger were playing together. They fed off each other pretty well. They played good golf together. Cantlay and Scheffler. So I would actually, I know Scheffler's going to be expensive, but I would assume Scheffler in the next 2 rounds is going to have like a -8. One of the next 2 rounds, he'll be -8. And I don't think Cantlay will be too far behind him. Now, you probably couldn't roster those guys together, but that's what I'd look at. I'd look at some guys that are golfing together. Zach Johnson played at La Quinta today. It wouldn't surprise me if... I mean, I think ZJ probably could do -3, -2. I wouldn't chase a Zach Johnson. But he could still be at the top of the leaderboard because of how low he scored today. Let's see. Who else would I consider really quickly? Guys that were on my list for 7K golfers that didn't really play all that great today. Ryder. Sam Ryder would be someone I look at because I think he's playing La Quinta tomorrow. I look at Sam Ryder. Maybe Nicholas Lindheim. I don't know how else all the other people did. I would just look at stuff like that. But anyways, I'm going to get going. It was fun jumping on. Didn't really talk a lot about the database stuff. It was cool hanging out with you guys, chatting with y'all. I'll actually keep this one public because I didn't really go over anything in my database. So you guys can watch replays of this. If you watch all the way through, if you heard the beginning of this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this member only when I get off, but I'll just keep it as is. Yeah. Have a great night. Thank you all for jumping in. I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye.